All right, let's get up into the game last night. Chargers versus the Broncos, Monday Night Football, and just quick take on it. It was a surprisingly a defensive game. I didn't think as far as as far as as far as the Chargers go, they ain't really played no defense like that all season. You know what I'm saying? And I mean Denver's defense is gonna make a lot of teams look bad, you know what I'm saying? And, they defense played well enough so, for them to get the win. It just so happened that we capitalized on the turnover in overtime and, what I'm saying, had good field position, was able to hit the game winning kick. But aside from that, both offenses was what I'm saying, was bad. They weren't moving the ball at all. Play calling on both sides was horrible. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of stuff that, you know, gotta get figured out. So you go on the Broncos side, the Broncos, Russell Wilson, he had another bad game, you know what I'm saying? That he followed last week's game with the Colts with this game. And there's rumors out there that his shoulder might be messed up, or not messed up, but he might be injured, and it's starting to show. He had 15 completions for 28 yards. No, not 28. Sorry about that. 15 completions on 28 attempts, 188 yards, and 1 touchdown, no picks, 6 yards, 6 yard average on every pass. But he only threw the ball 28 times. So, running the ball, they had 98 as a team. Uh, Murray had the most yards out of all the Bronco running backs. He had 15 carries, 66 yards, and he had that 14-yarder that was his longest. Russell had 4 carries for 23 yards, and that was pretty much it. They didn't really use Melvin Gordon. I mean, he came into the game with injuries, but yeah, he didn't really see the field much at all, and receiving the ball, Judy had 3 on 7 targets for 54 yards, and Dulcich, one of the tight ends they got, he had 3 targets and caught 2 for 44, and Hamler had 3 targets, he caught 2 for 44. They couldn't find Sutton really. He had 3 targets, 2 for 14, and that was it, man. Their offense, like I said, it was surprisingly shut down by the Chargers, because Chargers normally give up yards to mostly everybody. So this was, one of their better defensive performances. As far as their defense, they got 2 sacks, and they had got 1 interception, and I think they got a fumble recovery as well. So I mean, their defense was solid. You know what I'm saying? They QB hits, they had 8. So like I said, they was pressuring. They was cutting through the line all night. Really couldn't get no cohesiveness down as far as rhythm go for Herbert. So you look at how the Chargers offense did. Herbert threw the ball 57 times. I don't know why you having him throw 57 times. And he threw 57 just to get 238. Normally, if you throw 57 times, you having like 350 yards plus. But he only had 238. He had an interception. He got sacked twice, and his passer rating was 66.3. So that's one of his like poorest performances as far as for the whole year. You know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter, didn't do nothing at all. You know, like I said, if they didn't get that fumble, more than likely the game would have either been won by Denver or it would have been a tie because, like I said, the Chargers offense didn't do anything. Running the ball, they had a great game running the ball last week, and they followed it up with this. You know, Eckler, he had 14 carries, 36 yards, 2.6 yard a carry. He had one touchdown, but Sony Michelle had 8 for 28. And altogether it was 24 carries for 73 yards and 3 yard average. You know, that ain't gonna get it done. You know, they are better when they have a balance. And like, it wasn't no balance at all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Denver's defense is gonna make a lot of teams look trashy. You know, you look at the receivers. Palmer, he had the most targets. Well, not most targets. Sorry about that, but he had 12 targets. He caught 9 for 57. Um, Parham, the backup tight end, he had 3 targets. He caught 3 for 53. You know, that wasn't bad. They probably should have called more plays for him. Um, Eckler, he had 10 receptions for 47 yards. I mean, like, a lot of just dinking and dunking that was going on last night. Everett, he had 7 targets and he caught 5 for 29. You know, mind you, Eckler had them 10 receptions on 16 targets. So it's like that's the only person Herbert was locked in on throwing the ball to. And Williams, he do this a lot. Sometimes he have a monster game and then he follows it up with a dud. Now, granted, I guess, Denver do got some solid people in the secondary, but he had on 6 targets, he caught 2 for 17. And then Carter had 5 targets, 3 for 17. So it was nothing. No big plays. Everything was dinking and dunking. He got the ball out at fast. I mean, some of that was due to the pass rush, so he didn't really have time to really, stand in the pocket, go through all his reads and throw the ball. You know, it wasn't like that. He most of the time he went to either his first or second read. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, no, it wasn't no rhythm at all. You know, from either half, from the first half to the second half, Denver defense just was on their ass. And so it wasn't shit they could do. So they got out of there with the win. As far as sacking the ball or sacking or sacks for the defense, Derwin James had a sack. Tranquil, he had 2 sacks. And Khalil Mack had a sack. So, they had 4 sacks. They ain't get no interceptions and 1 fumble recovery. So defensive wise, I'll give it a A, but everybody's defense kind of been making Denver look like what their record is, 2-4. Last week the Colts only allowed them to score 9 points. So big picture, the Broncos got a lot of they got a lot of things they got to work out. You know what I'm saying? We still don't know what type of team they are. Are they going to be a running team or a passing team? And I think Russ, I mean, if the shoulder's messed up, then he ain't shit he gonna be doing. This pretty much gonna be him for the whole season. But if he made the decision going from Denver to Seattle, he left those weapons. He left Metcalf and Lockett, and he, like I said, it's gonna be maybe a whole season, and next year maybe he'll show the cohesiveness that he should supposed to have with Sutton and Judy and Hamler and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna take a while. They don't really have specific plays that's like they bread and butter to move the chains, and that's one of the reasons why they keep getting a lot of 3-and-outs. And so, they're gonna have to work on that if they want to get some wins because their defense is top notch. You know what I'm saying? It's up there with with the Cowboys defense and with the 49ers defense as far as most weeks they going to hold teams. Or let me say, rewind. Most weeks it's going to be hard for a team to score 20 on them. Like the only team that scored 20 on them was the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? That game was in Vegas, and Raiders, they be playing, they be getting up a little more when they play a game in Vegas. But everybody else they haven't really scored 20. You know what I'm saying? Out of the 6 games, one team scored over 20. That's a damn good defense. And so if you got that high caliber of a defense, the offense got to pull their weight. And right now, their offense ain't pulling their weight at all. They ain't doing nothing. And so, like I said, we almost at the halfway point before we can see, like, what things will they implement to kind of, make it look more smoother and stuff like that. Because if not, the coach is definitely on the hot seat. Everybody talking shit about him every week. And like they don't see where the play calling is or what made him special in Green Bay. Now on the Chargers end, like I said, great defense. They need the balance on the offense, or they become too one dimensional. Now it's cool if Herbert threw the ball 57 times, and like I said, he had more yards, but he threw the 57 for 238. So he really was a dink and dunk quarterback last night. They gotta make sure that they call plays for him to push the ball down the field. They have big play capability, but yesterday they didn't show it. And like I said, maybe it's due to Denver. So we'll see this week versus, the Seahawks, whether they get back to doing what they doing. But the offense, I'm gonna say it was a D. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if the guy didn't muff the ball up, I don't, it's possible they wouldn't even got the win. So, just highly disappointed with the D with not with D with the offense. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's too much of a high low. Okay, so last week, great offense display. This week, you know what I'm saying, like nothing. A no show. So yeah, that's just my quick take on it. And we'll see what they got next week. All right, thanks for listening.